Hello.
What's your excitement level like to come back and be able to be a part of the festivities here tonight?
Very excited. Yeah, need to be in the clubhouse and meet some of the fellas, and looking forward to throwing out the first pitch.
Have you practiced? Are you ready to go?
Been practicing since I was 5 years old.
Who was your guy as a Tiger back in the day? Who'd you grow up loving?
Gates Brown and Mark Fidrich and Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker and Bill Freehand and Al Kaline and Ernie Harwell, George Kell. Loved them all. It was my team growing up.
What's the best sport, baseball or football?
I think they're both great. It seems like if you compared one to the other, one might get diminished. I think they're both great.
What does Brad Oswald say to you? What do you guys talk about?
Talked a little bit about San Diego, and then I told him a story. My dad took my nephew Riley, my dad's grandson, to a Brewers game probably about 9 years ago, Miller Field in Milwaukee. They were sitting about 15 rows up from the dugout, visitors' dugout. It was a called third strike. Brad was the catcher, and he's got the ball, so he's coming off the field. And my dad stands up, and he's like, "Hey, catch! Kid, there's a kid here! Kid! Ball for the kid!" And Brad just went right from his hip, hit my dad right in the right hand. Didn't even have to move the hand. So impressive that he would throw a youngster the ball, but the throw was the most impressive part. So I don't think he remembered that particular one, but they talk about it a lot. My dad and then Riley Crean, they still marvel the throw from the hip by Brad. And a good catch by my dad. So kind of hopeful to get a foul ball opportunity tonight.
You brought your glove?
I did.
How old is that glove?
That's a new glove. I got that glove I got from courtesy of the Oakland A's at spring training this year. So it was better than the glove I had before. So
You never get too old to bring a glove to a game?
I don't think so. I don't know what that age would be.
Are you going to go fastball?
Yes. Yeah. I could throw the slider, but probably just go with the fastball. I don't know how fast it's going to be.
Have you done this before?
No, it's going to be my first time throwing out a first pitch in any venue.
Are you at all nervous about it?
I just go out there and throw it. Very excited about it.
Did you practice at Michigan on the diamond at all?
I did go out and throw a few, yeah.
Who caught for you?
Tony DeFeo, one of our
Did Brad say he was going
trusty staff members.
to catch you?
He said he was going to catch, yeah.
Jim Clint Hurdle is a known Michigan fan. He's been a big fan. Did he get a ball in his office with Brady Hoke's autograph on it? Maybe updated his stats. What's it like to have a guy like Clint Hurdle that carries the Michigan flag?
It was great visiting with him and his father in the clubhouse earlier. And he got us the tickets too, so. But I'll still be. So there's a little bit of quandary there, you know. Got tickets from Clint Hurdle, who's a big Michigan guy, and they're playing the Tigers. So, but I'm still be pulling for the Tigers.
You going to sit in the stands?
Yes. Well, hopefully with a good chance at a foul ball.
Do you remember the first baseball game you ever went to? Did you go with your dad?
I did. Yeah, Tiger Stadium. The only baseball games. Well, no, take that back. The first game I ever went to was a Reds-Pirates game in 1970. My brother John, myself, my dad, and one of the Bowling Green State University coaches. My dad was coaching at BG. Carlos, his first name was Carlos Jackson, I think it was. And we, I remember it vividly because we drove down in a Volkswagen Bug, not a convertible, VW Bug, and me and my brother sat in the back seat, and that was the first major league game I ever went to.
That was at Crosby?
I don't know. 1970.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think we're kind of in 70.
Yeah, I remember the car ride down there and walking into the game, and I mean I might have been 6. I might have been 5 too. No, 1970 I was 6. So yeah, and then all the other major league games I went to growing up were Tiger games. My dad grew up with Gates Brown. Both lived in Crestline, Ohio. Played football, basketball, baseball together growing up and in high school. And Gates was first playing when we started going to the games. The greatest pinch hitter of all time. He had the record at the time for the most pinch hits in Major League history. And we would come to the games, and that's why I got a lot of my foul balls were at those games as a kid. And we'd always stayed to the very end, and sometimes the pickings were easy. And then we also got to see some other things too. Like after the game, sometimes we go get a hamburger with Gates and my dad. There was like a corner. I don't remember the name of it. That there was like a corner restaurant bar that the ball players would all go to after the game, and they'd all be there. Eddie Brinkman and Al Kaline, and this is like when we were young, and that was just neat. You just sat on a chair and you just watched these guys, and they'd be talking about the game and smoking cigarettes and having a few beers. And we'd sit there and watch them. It was just some vivid memory. I mean, gosh, you like brush those, they're so thick. And then when Gates was coaching, the hitting coach for the Tigers, we get to see some of the next wave of ball players, Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker, and those guys. One time Lou Whitaker came over to our house. Gates Brown and Lou Whitaker rode motorcycles to our house in Ann Arbor, and all the kids came over and stood outside waiting to get an autograph, and I remember my mom made sandwiches and ate potato chips, and just Sweet Lou. He called him Sweet Lou. That was it was just neat being around them. It was just to be around the ball players was pretty darn cool growing up. And then we were here. There was one during the Mark Fidrich, the 76. Was it 76? His rookie season, All-Star season, huh? 6. So I mean, I was a diehard fan. I mean, I watch every game. It was on TV. Had a paper out, and I'd listen to the games as I'd go around the block. I mean, you could almost hear the entire game just on the paper route because everybody would have it on, and had the little headset that I would take into school and listen to the Tiger games. And one time we went to the game, and my mom, I remember her, she was, "What's all this bird mania? This is ridiculous. This is silly." And by the 5th inning, she was standing on top of her seat, cheering. And the Monday night game against the Yankees, the 2-1 game. I mean, that was one of the most thrilling sporting events I've ever watched on TV. And I just I was trying to be Mark Fidrich. I mean, every time I went to pitch in a Little League game, I was talking to the ball and patting the mound. That was so Gates Brown and Mark Fidrich, those two stand out.
What's your foul ball count at now?
20. I know it seems, it's 20.
We were talking about the sports bar at Lindell AC.
Was that what it was?
That's the name of it. Lindell AC.
But it was great memories. My dad took us to ball games. That was one of the great things about growing up, and the best part of it, really. I mean, the best part was all of it, but every single memory is so thick about going to Tiger Stadium and the drives over to those were good parts. Just driving over in the car with my dad and brother, and you roll up the windows, turn off the radio. You didn't have cell phones in those days, but you just talked and shared stories and laughed, and I remember those as much as I do being at the games or being at the Lindell AC.
Were you just off?
It's nothing like going to the ballpark. So.
Were you surprised by all the reaction that you got from playing with your shirt off at that camp?
Yeah, I was. It's like people forgot about shirts and skins. There's must be too many reversible shirts these days. But yeah, back where I come from, you play shirts and skins. So it was a game of shirts and skins. I just didn't take my shirt off and start running around. We're actually playing a game.
I mean, was baseball your first sports love? I mean,
Yeah.
You started football later, and I mean, is there anything similar about the two games? That there's a lot of mano a mano in baseball, but are there a lot of correlations?
Yeah, a lot of correlations. I mean, to be good, I mean, you work very hard at it. You will yourself to be good. You compete like a maniac to be the best. That's what you have to do in either of those two sports. But if baseball was, I wanted to be a baseball player. That's when I really wanted to be a major league shortstop or a pitcher or a catcher. But I wanted to be a big leaguer.
Football sidetrack that?
I never told you my baseball story. I was a pretty good baseball player. My dad was coaching out at Stanford. It was my senior year. I was hitting .417 at the time, and Dean Stotts was the hitting coach at Stanford, and he gave my dad this new theory of hitting by Charlie Lau. It was the Charlie Lau theory of hitting. So my dad brought it home and said, "We're going to the cage, bucket of balls." We did some soft toss, and he taught me this Charlie Lau theory of hitting, which was basically chopping down to the ball. So after that, the rest of the season, I could not get the ball out of the infield. It's complete power outage, and I was resorting to bunting my way on and any way I could get on base. And then when I took the Stanford job, I ran into Dean Stotts in the parking lot, and he was driving his truck, and I went up to him and, "Hey, Coach, it's Dean Stotts. Remember me?" "Yeah, I remember you. You brought the Charlie Lau theory of hitting to my dad, and he gave it to me, and I couldn't get the ball out of the infield for the rest of my baseball career." So I said, "Yeah, the old Charlie Lau." And then he said, "Yeah, Charlie Lau, good." I said, "Wait, what was that?" I go, "What was what?" And he goes, that thing where you took your hand off the bat." I didn't get that part. So all I got was that. So I was a victim of overcoaching by my dad. I mean, you're supposed to swing through it, and then the hand comes off the bat. But so I was a pretty good baseball player until that.
I just want to tell you, Charlie Lau couldn't hit either.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was the third-string catcher.
No. I mean, I'm not disparaging Charlie Lau at all. I'm sure it's a wonderful theory of hitting, but I only got half of it. I didn't get the second half. I didn't get the follow-through coaching. Who do you play for?
Detroit and I think Kansas City.
Is that right?
Traded, might have been a Billy Martin trade.
Well, I know it's a legitimate theory of hitting. I mean, a lot of big league players. Yeah, it worked pretty well for George Brett and some others.
We're going to stay on schedule. Thank you.
All right, thanks.